Welcome to Zangwek channel. I am here in Japan Karate Institute with Master Moran, and instead of morning coffee, we're going to have some green tea. Hope you enjoy this segment with Master Moran, my good friend.
Thanks, Bill. I'm here this morning with Shihan Coker, and he's converting me to green tea today. So cutting back on the coffee and drinking some green tea. So we're just going to have a little chat with you guys. I came down Charleston to do some instructor courses in some of our system, and I'm also here for ceremonial purposes also. There's a lot of ceremonies going on tomorrow, so I'm here to help with the ceremonies and take part in the ceremonies. I put this down before my hand is burned, so crisp. But welcome to the Zangwek channel, and I wanted to just discuss a few things that have been on my mind, and a lot of people have been asking me. One thing that we do, and Dale's a big part of our American Pressure Point Self-Defense System. And one thing we do that's different, which you probably noticed, is we're not knocking out our opponents and our training partners with pressure points. And we feel at the Institute that this is not the way we want to teach points. And I'm going to give you a couple examples of why this is kind of a, what I feel is an unnecessary evil. It's an unnecessary thing that people feel they have to do to teach pressure points. As you can see from my video clips, which is just a sample of what we do here at the National Institute of Pressure Point Arts with pressure points. If you want to get more deeply involved, get some of our DVDs and Clinic Series DVD 1 through 12. It takes you step by step through pressure point knowledge from beginner level to advanced level in the American Pressure Point Self-Defense System. But let me get back to the subject of pressure point knockouts. Now, one thing is this. I'm also a knife and a stick fighting instructor. And what some people say is this, is that, well, it's necessary to knock you out with a pressure point to teach you pressure points. And their answer for this is, well, we want to show you that this stuff actually does knock you out, so best way is to be knocked out, and now you'll understand, you'll be able to knock people out when you learn. That's a bunch of hogwash, really, and I'll tell you why. Look, do I have to teach you by doing what I'm teaching you to you? No. So if I'm teaching you knife fighting, am I going to say, okay, today's class, first of all, why don't you stand over here, sir? Just stand there, and I'm going to stab you a few times repeatedly, just to show you what actually happens when you're stabbed, to give you the real effect, and start stabbing the person repeatedly. It's kind of crazy. If I'm a firearms instructor, I don't say, look, let me plug a few holes in you here first, just so you get the real effect of how it feels to be shot, because then you'll know how to shoot somebody. No. It doesn't make any sense to me. And you don't have to line someone up and knock them out with a pressure point to teach them how to perform pressure point knockouts. Okay? Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. What are your feelings on this?
Well, I think exactly what you're saying is I'm very in sync with that. It would be a crime, which you've already mentioned before. It would be a total crime if somewhere in our nation or anywhere in the world where they had chimpanzees or little monkeys or dogs or cats, and somebody took a pressure point and they were just chopping them and hitting them in the carotid arteries and all their points and knocking them out and seeing if they could kill them or hurt them or whatever. But yet this is the thing that goes on in many pressure point circles. And that, quite frankly, Master Moran, this is what brought me to Master Moran, is that I saw that many years ago and I was absolutely not interested at all, because I knew instinctively that there would be some severe damage to a person if you took that kind of a damage. And I think Master Moran can actually, there's times that he knows of some people that's actually went to some seminars that actually has some pretty severe demise.
Okay, speaking of that, yes, I've had a close friend that a couple days after a pressure point seminar, where he struck several times into pressure points in the neck, that it not necessarily happened from that seminar, but he was not given advice not to strike his practice partner or to let people strike him into the carotid artery. Well, after the seminar, he went with one of his friends and they started practicing what they call carotid artery knock, or they're using the acupunctural terms, which I'm not going to mention, and striking to that point in the neck. And we're working on, first they're not getting it, hitting harder until they get it. And the next day, he didn't wake up. His girlfriend found him dead, okay? And I truly believe they autopsied him, they couldn't find any cause of what killed him. But I truly believe it had something to do with him repeatedly being struck in the neck. And by, it wasn't his friend's fault, they just weren't taught properly. Instructors that are going around teaching people that it's safe to strike you hard enough in the neck to knock you out, and that's perfectly okay or wrong. And you people that are saying, well, this is hogwash, this is true, I should be able to knock my students out, and there's no ill effects, that's never been proven. Well, do your research, it has been proven. Read my letter to Black Belt Magazine I wrote. I'll have to get you the exact date on another tape, but me and Mike Redzicki, the vice president of our association, we wrote a very extensive letter about the dangers of knocking people out with pressure points. And there wasn't one argument to this letter. Not one person responded saying this was wrong. That you are, saying that it's wrong, that it's okay to knock you out with pressure points. But I hear constantly people saying it's perfectly safe, and teachers telling their students it's perfectly safe to KO you with pressure points. It's not safe. And I'll tell you, especially the ones in the neck, and none of them are safe. All of them have to do with the sudden drop of your heart rate, which anyone knows in the right mind. If someone has an unseen heart problem and they're being knocked out with pressure points, this is putting heavy stress on their heart. So who knows, this person could drop dead. And the problems, the long-term problems these things could cause in the future are unforeseen. I don't want to experiment on my students by knocking them out with pressure points. I know they could have some major problems later in life, so I'm not going to do that. I suggest if you're in organizations that are allowing you to be knocked out, and you're allowing teachers to knock you out, and they're telling you, look, I have to knock you out to show you and to teach you these pressure points, that's not true. So there is some deception going on there. You do not have to be knocked out with a pressure point to learn how to do it. I truly feel this. I'm going to cut this segment short now, just because we're going to cut it off in about another minute, because I can only load 10 minutes at a time off this system onto YouTube. So until I figure out how to load a longer segment on here, I'm going to cut this short, and then we're going to have a part 2. So I'm just going to shut it off, and we're going to go to a part 2 now, and you'll see it right after this part 1. Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching today. If you're ever in Charleston, South Carolina, we'd love to welcome you to one of Master Moran's Pressure Point Dojos. You're welcome to come anytime. I'm Dale Coker with Master Moran. Have a nice day.